What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video, and in this one you're going to be hearing from one of my 60-day sprint students, Matt Cruz. And Matt had come into the 60-day sprint already running a content agency, but got hit hard right at the start of it. He had lost two of his biggest retainer clients right at the start of the 60-day sprint. Instead of giving up, Matt used the 60-day sprint as a reset. He went all in on his outreach. He did more free video shoots than anyone else inside the competition, rebuilt his pipeline completely from scratch. By the end of the 60-day, Matt had landed multiple new clients. In fact, he had landed 2 year-long contracts with brand new clients, completely transforming his business and his confidence. He also was the one who finished first place inside of the 60-day sprint round 2, which means he's taking home a brand new Sony FX3. Matt proved that even when you get knocked down, you could still come back stronger than ever. If you want to see what relentless action and what a real system can do for you, Matt's story is a masterclass. So stick around and watch the full interview. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, dude. So this call is going to be the official offboarding call from the 60-day sprint. We're going to take a look at the numbers. We're going to go over everything. We're going to talk about where you placed, kind of what your expectations were before, kind of some of the things that we talked about on your pre 60-day sprint interview. This is just going to be post interview. So as of right now, you are placed first right now to win the Sony FX3. And man, you did that competing against 11 other pretty hungry people. For sure.
100%.
What's going through your mind?
It's crazy because I feel like, going into just why I wanted to do this was just like, hey, I need to build confidence. And I think having you guys, kind of lead the way gave me so much more confidence in my skill set that I was able to produce results. And like you see it in the leaderboard, I was like, okay, I have these guys behind me. I have a group of another like 10, 11 hungry other guys that are, wanting to build a business. All right, cool. Let a fire under my butt and like, let's get it going. That's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
And like, fortunate enough, I think it's fortunate. It's like my two biggest retainers ended up like not renewing prior, like as soon as the 60-day sprint started. I was like, all right, cool. We're going to hit a 10K month, it's like, gonna have that going. And that happens, and I'm just like, well, shoot, I got to restructure my business, figure out, hey, what it is. Like with you guys' help, I was able to be like, hey, pick me back up and go like, okay, cool, now I can do this. Okay, we can build more portfolio pieces, build more client, relationships, and that's what I was able to do, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
100%, dude. So, I mean, before we really dive deep, like, let's just like right now you're at 25,765 points. Talk to me about the new client revenue, right? Let's break that down.
100%. So I had been doing a lot of work with like, restaurants. And luckily enough, I was on, just reached out to, a restaurant. This is prior to the 60-day sprint. And they use like, hey, let's do a 3 month. Let's figure out what you're doing, what we can do for us in terms of graphic design, building our business, helping us run it. Right. And so I was able, give them something that they wanted, and then they were able to, at the end of the 3 months, I was like, hey, like they wanted more things from me. And so I was able to
Yeah.
upsell on that, help them with their marketing, more on that side. It's just not, creating content, but it's also, hey, graphic design, how are we pitching, say if they're doing catering clients, how can we, create a graphically nice pitch deck with, X, Y, and Z photos, and that way it drives more revenue because we're having
Yeah.
these talks with like businesses. Now they're working with, Qualcomm, it's a big company in San Diego doing their catering. So it's a big contract. And so, just doing that, and then after, just reaching out to restaurants because that's where my portfolio was at, and then I was able to get a Mexican restaurant, but on that end, I was able to fix their marketing, and then just running ads through different revenue, just different avenue streams, whether it's like a DoorDash, making sure that they're running ads there, or Facebook. I know you guys don't really teach that the DoorDash, but it's like ads are the same all across the board. You just don't
Yeah.
understand the numbers. I was able to add, enough revenue where it was our highest revenue month, right? So after that, started to do a lot of free shoots, and then, and then just understanding, the outlook of, hey, you got to do these shoots, build relationships, build client, and build good relationships. And that's how I was able to close those bigger deals, those 1 year deals, because the amount of times I had to take them out to lunch, kind of just like,
Yeah, that's what it comes down
comes
to.
down
You
to,
know what I
hey man, I
mean?
had this question. All right, bro, let's just go
Yeah.
grab some lunch. Let's go
Yeah.
eat. Let's go talk about it.
Hey, I'll do that as many times it takes to get them over the finish line. You
Brother,
know what I mean?
it took a lot, but that's
Yeah.
what it took. And then when you come from the approach of like, hey, I want to like from what you were telling us is like I want to genuinely help these people because as a content marketing agency, you have the power to change their business. When
Yeah.
you come from that like sort of like angle and approach, a lot of these deals come a lot easier. And people are like, hey man, like I know you come from a genuine, spot, like as a friend, as a business partner,
Yeah.
these
No,
deals come a
yeah.
lot. So that was it. And then, just you had mentioned to me, prior to the 60-day sprint that my network was going to be, a lot of, a good source of warm leads. And I was able to, a lot of the stuff that I was doing was photography work at the time, but then, a lot of them reached, hey, can you design, we need marketing material for, say, because I worked with a lot of, DJs and people in the music industry. It's like, hey, I need, marketing templates for brand kits for, labels, these bigger festivals that we could pitch our artists that way they look good, I was able to get a couple of those deals within it as well. So just understanding like, you know, I think the biggest thing that I got out of this 60-day sprint was the confidence. I think I know I had the skill set and you guys were able to teach me more of a skill set. But at the end of the day, when you have people that have like you and Nathan and even some of the other guys in the group, it just like gives you the confidence, like, hey man, it's really possible. Like I saw
Yeah.
like in the calls, like, yeah, got his first big deal. And like you can see the excitement on his face. I remember when I had my first like my first deal close, like, dude, I can make money from this. I'm like, that lights a fire under your ass. I'm like, okay, you can do this. We can do this. It's not as hard as you make it seem, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Being able to relive, I said that on the other call the other day. Being able to relive that through someone that you helped and just like even in the smallest way, just as something as simple as like hopping on Zoom calls with them, right?
Hmm.
For him to come on in front of everyone and do that, like, bro, that was worth it entirely to me. Just that itself, like, seriously, like that's what we want from this thing. Um, both Nate and I. And speaking of Nate, we didn't have Nate in round one. It was just me.
Hmm.
What do you think, in your honest opinion, like, do you think it would have been the same experience without Nate? Or do you think Nate really played a big role in this?
I think I think Nate was for sure a game changer because I think having at least a backbone and understanding of, you know, the analytical side of it. Maybe as a videographer, we're so, you know, entrenched in how does the image look? How is, the transitions, the music, all of
Yeah.
that technical stuff. But when you translate it to a more marketing analytical approach of like, hey, this is the scripting we're going to use. This is, Facebook ads. This is what numbers you're trying to look for. This is your cost per lead. It gives you a better sense of being a whole creative, just like a, having good business foundation and understanding where your videos play in the whole grand scheme of driving leads. I think that was the most important part. So like I know damn well me, you, and then all of these other people in the sprint can make a great video. But when you teach us how and show us how these videos are driving dollars, that is the $1 million piece of the puzzle that not a lot of videographers probably don't know how to do. And
Yeah.
to me, that was worth all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Um, so with the dashboard tracking everything, right? Because right now what I'm looking at is I can see that you did basically over 70% completion rate. Does that sound about right in terms of
Hmm.
tracking? That
Hmm.
sound pretty accurate?
Yeah, so it's like,
You see what I'm saying? Like, so talk to me about like your strategy here, right? Because I don't think people understand, and people who might end up watching this interview, they don't understand the strategy, right, with the
Mhm.
competition of it. So like, if we put you in this thing, and there's this dashboard, this custom dashboard we have is going to track everything. Talk to me about like when you figured this out and it started, like what was the activities that you knew you were going to focus on? Because I think everyone thinks, okay, I'm going to do I'm going to focus on getting more clients, but when it comes to the other small things, like talk to me about that. Like what were some of the other things that you did to get points that kind of, played into your strategy for winning? Because you won, bro. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I think you mentioned it at the beginning of the sprint is just like, hey, like your biggest points are going to be the new client revenue that you generate. So coming on from like all of this, you had mentioned building a personal brand, and I knew that was something I want to focus on, but I knew if I really wanted to win, it's like business. It's like the one that's going to move the needle is sales.
Yep.
It's like I can post these. Yeah, that takes time. Like you mentioned prior to this, the 60 day sprint. Like the long game is the personal brand, and I know that, right? But the short game is going to be those relationships you make. You're preaching pipeline, pipeline, pipeline,
Right.
bro. There's I was just on Instagram like, dude, the whole time just firing off messages, see what sticks, see what messaging sticks. Hey, can I do a free shoot? Can I do a free shoot?
Yep.
And dude, I was doing like free shoots, whatchamacallit, like almost every day for like the past like 4 or 5 weeks,
Yeah.
and on top of that, traveling for like these DJ stuff. So I'm like, most of these shoots were like detailing businesses, stuff that I wanted to build a niche in. I just had to, you know, get the repetition in. And I knew that was going to be the main driver. And I know, you know, I didn't close any of them within this 60-day sprint, but I know that I already have pipeline that after the 60-day sprint, I know I can close them. I already have
Yeah.
those relationships are already built. And that was the most important part.
Yeah.
And when you have like, and I think I don't really think anybody mentioned this, but I knew going into this sprint is if you make one good video, you can start sending those out to people that are say, hey, what's your portfolio? Oh, I just did this for another business. I just did this detailing ad. Like, look what this is what it looks like. Did you want one? And when you just keep repeating that messaging, you get a lot of people like, hey man, like my ads suck. And that was a cheat
Yeah.
code. That was a cheat code. So I was like, just keep doing that, and then just building relationships, just genuinely helping people. And that's what got me the furthest. It just like
Yeah.
knowing I could help. Right.
Before you got here, Nate, what Matt was telling me about is talking about, well, like he talked a lot about his confidence levels.
Mhm.
Um, and Matt, now I kind of want to ask you, just because Nate wasn't really here for that, your confidence levels, right? We were just talking about that. Kind of talk to me about like rate it 1 through 10, before the sprint versus now, essentially. Like what in terms of the confidence it changed before working with us in the 6 day sprint and after.
Bro, just like it's like night and day, like a whole different bro. It's like I feel like I'm at a 10. When somebody says like, hey dude, I need to drive more, or like, hey, how can you change my business? Oh, I for sure could change your business. It
Yeah.
just, that sense of confidence. And I think that's what sells a lot of people and just gets people on board is just like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. Even though it's like, hey, we learned this all in a 60-day sprint. I'm looking at all the other people that have marketing agencies. I'm like, oh, dude, like they're just running the same playbook. They just they just have the confidence. They just know what to do.
Yeah.
I think Nate broke it down super very in depth when he was just showing us all through the meetings like, hey, this is how you set it up. This is how you go through you know, the onboarding process. This is how you set it up on Go High level. I'm like, oh, this is super simple. It's not rocket science. It's just, hey, just run the playbook and that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just having that foundation, it was just like it changed my business from like night and day. Because now I can go to any business and be like, yeah, this is what we'll do, X, Y, and Z. It's like, and then pitch them, and they're like, yeah, so. And I have the confidence because knowing that, you guys helped me get out and like you guys have provided results. And I'm like, you've helped other people within the group provide results. I'm just like, yeah, this is not rocket science and what I believed it to be. I thought
Yeah.
this was like super complex. People gatekeep all this stuff. But when you look at it, you just have it's just people that have a good foundation in business and know how to do it properly.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like the
100%.
execution of it. It's like massive.
yeah.
100%. So again, let's talk about numbers real quick. What was the biggest deal that you closed? And for which client was that for? Was that the 12-month one?
It was a 12 month.
12-month at how much?
It was just 1,500 a month. But when you do that times two, I was just like, all right, cool. That gives me a little bit of breathing room. Um, because I'm like, as soon as the sprint started, my two YouTube clients were just like, yeah, dude, like we got so many, YouTube leads. We can't really, I don't have time to record.
Yeah.
So it was just like, well, like, here, let me just put this on pause. And I'm like, dude, that's a big chunk of my, it's a big chunk of my monthly recurring revenue. So I'm like in panic mode. I'm like, oh shit. That's why I texted you about contracts. How do you set it up?
Yeah.
And, when with all these other, deals, like the thing that I want to nail down is the terms of the deal. I want to make sure that I have this month locked up. That way that's guaranteed.
Exactly.
Also, it gives me breathing room to be like, okay, now I could, do more outreach. I could, I have this much coming in. I could hire that out. And that's why I asked you about hiring stuff. That way I could focus on, you know, buying back my time, even though it's like
Yeah.
small, even if it's like, scheduling out content for people. So I could buy that back and it saves me a couple hours a week. That's more time I can do for a free shoot. And granted, like, hey, on the monthly scale, it's not a lot. Like, it's like not like the 5K, 10K, but like we're working
Right.
towards that. But now that,
Yeah.
I don't have the confidence in like that, I could sell 12-month terms. And people are like, yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah.
let's do 12 months, bro. Like, that's where it's at. And like,
Yeah.
talk
Oh,
about it.
100%, bro. Because again, it's back to the pipeline conversation. I know Nate can definitely relate, and I can definitely relate. Where we're kind of at now, like I pay more attention to the time I still have to myself.
Hmm.
When a client wants to start working with me, instead of like the actual money. Of course, like me and Nate want to pay attention to the money and the percentages, like right. That's like all the stuff that you really need to focus on before signing. But I find myself focusing more on like the time I still have when I sign people. So like if I can sign a guy who wants to pay me 10 grand, and he's only going to take, maybe a month and a half of my time, I'm definitely doing that. But if
Hmm.
there's also someone who wants to pay me for 12 months, if it makes sense, that 12 months, like even if it's not like you just said, the most astronomical deal, but it's great for my pipeline and it's consistent income and the deal is easy, the deliverables are easy. Like if I can focus and create a deal structure where it makes sense for the amount of money, the amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of resources it's going to take, that's it.
Hmm.
Right? Simple as that. I used to sleep on this. I used to overcomplicate the fuck out of it. And I always thought like getting 10, 15,000, like 10, 15, $20,000 deals was going to be the way that like I, crushed it in business. Right.
Hmm.
But I actually find it that, structuring out more creative deals at lower amounts for longer periods of time is actually the way to do it. And you'll build longer term relationships with people, which ultimately will bring you more business through referrals, in my opinion. So that's really good though. Um, all in all, I'm sure this wasn't smooth sailing for you to take the dub. Um, Kind of talk to me about like what was the biggest challenge, I guess, or what were your challenging, times or days that you had where it's like, fuck, man, like these.
Brother, every day I woke up, I looked at that leaderboard. I was like, I need to make sure I'm on top. Like,
Yeah,
I don't like seeing myself other than the first place. And so I was just like, I woke up every single day knowing that there was 10 other guys, coming for that spot, you
yeah,
know. So I think my biggest challenge though throughout the 60-day sprint was, you know, I would say that's a good question because I'm like, is
yeah,
finding time between, you know, I told all my friends like, hey bro, like I'm busy for these next 60 days. Like I'm just gonna be
like I'm
locked
clocked
in.
out,
I was
clocked in
like
somewhere else. Yeah,
locked in somewhere else. It was just
yeah,
me in my room,
yeah,
sending out DMs, editing all of this stuff, and then the gym. That was it. It was like I dedicated these 60 days to kind of just figuring out what's in my business that's not doing well or where things I can improve on. And that's what I spent doing these 60 days. And like, then I was able to close like these year-long deals, but beyond that, it's like with my other own clients that are outside of this, they were asking, hey, how can I expand my brand and like how like being more involved in my role.
yeah,
So it was great to see, but I for sure got a lot busier and that was great. So it's like I didn't have time to, just mess around. I was just like go out. I'm like, dude, I was locked in. And I knew I wouldn't want to, be in the sprint if I wasn't coming out in first place. So at least it was a good fight. And like there was a lot of guys that were closing deals. I was like, oh shit, like I gotta
yeah.
I gotta I gotta get another
It
one.
got chippy there in round like week 3, week 4. I remember it got chippy there for a sec.
It did for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Like I remember I'm like, dude, like Flo was at the
Hey,
top for a
Flo was
minute.
leading for sure.
I
Flo
was just like,
was.
I,
He was.
I kept seeing his content. I was like, dude, like,
Yeah.
I gotta knock this guy off the first place. So,
Yeah.
like, he's doing well. Like, I know he's doing.
Yeah. You guys are both crushing it. Everyone crushed it, man.
Everybody crushed it. So I'm like, just waking up that leaderboard, that dashboard got me fired up. So I was like, you look at it and just like business is one of those things where, hey man, you put in the work, you put in the work. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna show. It's like if you're at
Yeah.
the bottom of the leaderboard, we know that, hey man, you gotta get the shooting. You gotta get booking these, these shoots.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't want I don't want people to know that I'm not working. I'm
Yeah.
around like, so
So yeah, dude, it's fucking great. Like looking back, okay, so now you won, took first place. You got new clients. You learned some new stuff from us. You're gonna get a brand new Sony FX3. Uh, was the investment into the 6 days sprint worth it?
bro, 1,000%. It's like the prize is just the cherry on top. But man, building these relationships with you guys, having you guys teach us, bro, that's far exceeds the value of what you guys, are offering. And for anybody that's like, on the edge of like, hey man, do I do this? I'm like, you're gonna thank yourself at the end of the day, regardless, bro, you just take the step, That's all
Yeah.
it is. You already took the step of like, hey, I want to be on a camera, I want to, build a video agency, make a living off this camera stuff, video stuff, ad stuff. Just take the leap. And like the biggest piece of advice that for anybody that's, if you can use this, for anybody that's watching is just like, bro, it's not as crazy as you think that, that this video agency space is. It's just a lot of, just build confidence. I think at the end of the day, I think it is confidence.
I agree.
Just like there's just a lot of people that, like you said, that can film with the iPhone and get results. I'm like, it just takes a blueprint, and you guys have the blueprint. That,
Yeah.
that's all. And you guys have a lot of experience, and I was glad I was able to learn from both of you guys. So that changed my business. That was about it.
Nate, anything else you want to add on?
No, no, yeah, no, it's been awesome to see you grow. And dude, yeah, like big props for doing what it takes. I mean, it sounds like you did more free videos than anyone else. And that's really what it
That's
takes
basically what I heard too. Yeah.
because like you like the quicker you do the stuff that sucks right away, the quicker you're gonna grow. So like, yeah, free videos might suck, but you're building those relationships, you're stacking that portfolio, and in the long run, you have so much more social proof than everyone else who is kind of like trying to close that $250 video or that $1,000 video package or whatever. Um, so props for doing that, dude. That's massive. And obviously props for showing up to everything and continuing to push yourself every single day. That's massive. I know Flo is like right there with you for a
Whether
little bit, and he's really consistent too, man. He's like, I think he
Yeah.
posts like three
Yeah.
or four times a day. It's crazy, but
I was like,
uh,
my feed was all flow. I'm like, dude, I gotta stop seeing this guy. I gotta,
I'm
I
not
gotta
gonna lie,
log
yeah, I'm
off
not gonna
his
lie. I was
face,
like,
man.
yeah, I saw Flo's consistency like right off the bat, and I was like, man, he's killer. So it's good that you had that competition too, because there's no what better way to grow than to be competing with people that are as hungry as him. So
Yeah.
props.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. Nate, you fucking hit it on the nail, dude. I think this was 100%, even though it's only round two, this was the best competition so far. Like, there was competition in round one, but like I said, those like week two, three, a little bit in the four, like it got chippy between a couple of you guys. Like, I saw all of you guys bouncing up and down. Even Nico, too. Like, Nico, the 18-year-old out of Jersey who's still in high school right now, who's fucking gonna close in on 3,000, like, which is crazy, bro. Like, I never even made close to that money, like, in high school.
But in high school, like,
And he
dude,
did it
like,
with a camera, bro. And his first time, it's like his first couple months ever using a camera. So like, it's crazy to see. I mean, he's in third right now. So like seeing that kid compete with you guys, and then also who was in and Sergio as well.
mhm.
Connor just, oh shit, Connor just knocked out Nico out of third.
Connor
Yeah,
was grinding.
Connor just
Yeah,
closed a monthly.
yeah, he
Connor was
did just
taking
close one.
Connor was taking calls like in his car on his way back from work, like
Yeah, I was falling
Connor was
asleep.
falling asleep in the fucking Zoom call, bro.
while driving.
I don't know if you were there for that, Nate. I don't think Nate was there for that. No,
No, that was
he was falling asleep on Zoom on the road, bro.
Oh my gosh,
it's
bro.
like it was so funny because like Nico was like, "Yo, like Connor, are you good, bro?" Like we had to pause the meeting, and everybody he like, "Dude, I'm just gonna pull over and like take this meeting."
No way. That's
Yeah,
wild.
dude, it was insane. The dude was definitely, yeah, I mean, hey, he sweated his way to third though. Look at that. Phenomenal. That's all I got. Nate, do you have anything else or you all good?
No, yeah. I mean, you hit on everything there.
Yeah.
Once again, dude,
We went
Matt,
for about like
congrats, man.
25 minutes here, so
Sweet. It's
yeah.
killer.
Yeah, appreciate you, Matt. Again, we were so lucky to have you host you, be able to help you gain that confidence like you talked about. Um, and yeah, just take home first place, man. Just walking away with a brand new camera like it's nothing.
Appreciate it, boys. Yeah.
Matt, what were your final numbers, revenue wise?
For the sprint, it was like two closed deals at like what 1,500 a piece for 12 months.
Nice.
I can check your Matt, were you the one that submitted a 1775? No, you submitted the 5K. Or no. I'm sorry. You submitted the 18.
Hmm.
That's right. That's right. 18 and the 6.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So that's your revenue plus the other small. Did you have another small? No, those were your two. Did you?
Those I had like other small shoots that people like saw my work and like, yeah, I need you to shoot this. Like,
I would say 95% of his points, which is 25,765 points, was revenue, new client revenue.
yeah,
Looks like
Killer.
I didn't even track the the
just
free shoots. I was just like,
hey, he locked in with the client work, and that's what.
I was just locked, brothers.
Yeah,
Late
I
night,
mean,
just like
that's the best way to earn points. In the rules right now is $1 per point or a
yeah.
point per dollar. So yeah,
Killer,
man,
dude. Let's go.
crushed it.
Yeah, those free shoots, dude, will also just pay you for life, dude. You'll get unlimited referrals from those, so that'll
Bro,
that'll
that's
be killer too.
yeah, that's what was like my main focus. I was like, dude, I gotta go back to where I started, just doing free shoots.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's go, dude. Congrats. That's all we have.